Shed some light on the situation here. A lot of you guys got to recognize this one here. We'll wait just a minute, let you fill in. Walk around this beauty. Hello, Matt. Hello, Alex. Glad you guys are here. Sure is a saddle. Let me move this chair. Get out of the way. Put it over here. Give you just a few more seconds. We'll let you guys fill in. Hi, how's everybody doing? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Where's everybody from tonight? How's the body and frame on that? On this one or the Challenger? They're both fairly solid. Well, this one's way better than this Challenger. Make a go-kart to match your truck. Yeah, you could. So, just to clarify, this is not mine. Dad bought this car. This car is mine. This car is Dad's. I did not buy this car. He did. But that doesn't mean we won't feature it on the Challenger. On the channel. Challenger on the brain. Is the Javelin still there? Yes, it is still there. I actually saw it Saturday. Georgia, Florida, Kansas, Indiana, Colorado. Cool, guys. So, what do you want to see? What do you got? We've got the satellite in the shop, finally. It's been actually, let's see, I think in a couple weeks maybe. It's been a year since I posted that video. It's been over a year since we made the video. We made it in late September of 2018. And now it's actually been driven home. We actually drove it home from where it was sitting in the junkyard. I will make a video on it eventually. I will. Once the Challenger kind of slows down with progress, we will actually start to do a little more with this thing. But Ed Hale, $20. I bought a great content before no car. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, those little Valiants, they are pretty small cars. They're actually big by today's standards, but small comparatively to everything else, especially this car. Like rolling in my Dart, I've probably got like this much extra room on the front and the back as well. So these cars are really big, especially whenever you get a B body versus an E body. So let's take a look comparatively. So you'll notice, look how short it is on the trunk and behind the quarter panel, like right here. Look how short it is versus this thing. It's like double the length. All that trunk space. It's crazy how much longer these cars are. So that kind of goes in with like the pony car scheme or like format. Really long hood, really short deck lid, kind of like your Mustangs, your Cudas, your Camaros, and that's kind of what this thing is more suited for. It kind of fits in the realm of a pony car. While this car, not so much. It is a lot bigger, and it shows. I mean, the cars are probably close in width, but as far as the overall length, this car is a lot longer. I think the wheelbase on a Challenger is 110 inches. I don't know what it is on this car, though. I'd have to actually look. Somebody might could look that up, whatever the wheelbase is on a 70 Satellite or Roadrunner. This has a 318 based on just what we've seen. You know, it is a satellite. It's a 70 Satellite. I think it's a sports satellite. I haven't looked at the fender tag just yet. Haven't done that, but just based on a little bit of investigation, which I did talk about this in the video, and whenever Kevin and Luke, Junkyard Digs in Thunder, Iowa, you know, we actually worked on this car, got it running on Kevin's channel, and then we drove out of its spot on my channel. But just based on some quick investigation work, you can see the floor pan is green, and that's the same color green as my Charger. So look at the floor pans though. Look how solid these things are. mean, it's got a little light surface rust, but it's actually a really solid car. It's pretty amazing. Actually, this might be a darker color green than this might be the darker shade of green. Not the green up here that's really light. That's some plant life growing on it. But the dash is still pretty nice. It was a factory air car. Doesn't have the air compressor anymore. I might have a glove box lid for it somewhere. Here you can see. There's a factory color. That looks really good. That actually might be the same as a Charger. I think it is. Goes to show you how much of these cars they painted that green color. I mean, you can see they were working. Oh, my light's going dead. It had green interior too. See, look at that. I never noticed that. Green headliner. Probably had green seats, a green dash, green steering wheel. But somebody's done away with all that. Went with the black, which I can't blame them. I'm more of a black interior fan myself over the green. But yes, it is a, as far as, I mean, I'd have to assume it's the factory 318. I don't know. Have not checked the numbers on it, but it's there. And it's still running the factory points ignition system. Nobody's converted it to electronic, so, but it's a good little car. Like I said, it did have air, but someone took it off and put an aluminum intake on it. This is Edelbrock Performer. It's not an RPM air gap, but it's basically just an aluminum version of like a later model intake with offset water neck versus the larger diameter ones that kind of sit in the center. But it's a good little car. I'm excited to see what's going on with this thing. Let me go back. 110. Yeah, I knew the Challenger was 110 and the Cuda's 108 wheelbase. I didn't know what it was for this car though. That's what I was wondering. Why did you and Kevin go live at the same time? Did he go live too? I didn't know he did. Anyway, anyone else getting buffering? It might be my phone. Needs a little TLC. Yeah, I mean, Dad's plan right now is to clean it up because you can see how hazy it is on the paint. You can see how there's been something crawling on it right there. But honestly, you could probably take the paint and bring a lot of the shine back to it as is. Clean it up really nice, and then you guys know what he wants to do with it. I mean, look at the color. It's just begging for it. It's roughly the same color. Yeah, it is pretty much the same color as my Charger. It's pretty funny. Now, on my car, my Challenger, on the other hand, it's the so I want to say it's Winchester gray, but it's so under the deck lid, it's got a lot more blue to it than up here. So I wonder if they actually, so the car's been repainted, and I wonder if this was repainted as well. But the deck lid really pops with that hint of blue that you can see. What are you doing next to the car? This thing, I just got the front suspension back in. I'll detail everything out in a new video. It should be coming out this Friday, so don't worry about that. I've detailed everything. I talk about putting the cross member back in, and I showed me actually putting the brakes on. It's got all the rotors and pads and all that stuff sitting in there, but I need to, I guess, I don't know what the next step will be for me. I do need to clean out the interior. I want to get everything out of the trunk, clean it up, and figure out what we need as far as sheet metal, interior parts, because this thing is, I'm going to do everything to the interior on this car. I want to make it actually really nice inside. I know I said that with the Charger, but we ran out of time. It's dark. I need a light. But ran out of time due to power tour. But this car, I'm not pushing myself to make any kind of deadline because I'm just having fun with it at this point. So I'll show you. Ooh, that sounds good. The interior on this car. Now, what I like about these things is that these door panels are a lot tougher compared to like your old vinyl and cardboard. I know they're plastic, but I like them because they're easy to restore. So this one is not so bad off. The other one has a hole in it, so I'll need a new door panel. I want to put a new dash pad in it, gauges, really trim out everything on the inside. I just threw the back seat back in there because I'm going to take it back out anyway. But this seat right here it's got like a couple tears in it on the bottom, but it's not bad. and that seat really needs to be recovered. But if I can fix all the door panels, new carpet, all that, I want it to be really nice on the inside and be something that's enjoyable to drive. Actually have carpet and some sound deadening and stuff like that. But next step, maybe mechanical wise, is I want to redo all the brake lines up front. I might just go ahead and do up front because I need to change the master cylinder. I'm going to go with a Willwood, or at least an alternative, some kind of Willwood. But I want the one that has the equal size reservoirs, because I want to convert the rear to discs. So I'll get the equal size reservoir and the built-in proportioning valve that goes into the, like, it's all one unit that you can get from Willwood. So I want to get all that because it's all self-contained. You know, you can adjust it with the turn of a knob really easily. And it's all right there at the master cylinder. And then all I need to do is I'll get new brake lines for the firewall and go into each wheel. But at that point, all I have to do is run two lines going to the new brake lines, and that's it. And I'm going to leave it manual. Everything's going to be manual. Just be so simple to do. That's really what I want to do. Vice Grip Garage, what's up, Derek? Glad you're here. New carpet would do wonders, that is for sure. He is absolutely sure correct about that. Oh, somebody said something about the door on this side. I want to put this, I got a really cool idea for this door. We'll go back to the satellite here in a second, but I just wanted to talk about this this door. So you can see, where's the light? You can kind of see what happened. So somebody apparently backed a trailer into it, and it really did some damage to the rocker and the door. What I want to do, though, clean the car up and then get rid of all this stuff here, pressure wash. I wasn't going to pressure wash it at first, but I'm going to it now. I think it would look better. But I want to put like a race car number here, like hand lettered, and then make it look like it got hit in the side while it was racing. I think that would be kind of cool. Like an old the Trans Am race cars back in the day. I know they didn't do it for this year, but I think it would be cool. Letter both doors, but have this one look like it got hit in the side while it was racing. Just to make it look, I don't know. It tells a story as it is, but I think putting a number on the door would be funny. McTaggart, glad you're here. Guys, if you haven't already, you need to go check out Bang Shift and search Brian McTaggart. The dude writes articles pretty much in every video that all the group does and the Rust Avengers. He's always on it. He's a good dude, and he wrote a little section on this thing on part 1, 2, and 3 on the Challenger. So if you haven't already, go check out Bang Shift. It's a really awesome site. And let me read what he said. He said that a small block, like a Challenger and E-body, will balance out better with a small block, and he's correct. Put a big block in it, you'll get pretty nose heavy, and that's why we're going back with a small block. Got this 360 here, and today, actually just today, I tore down the original 318 that came out of this car, and I kind of demonstrated why I'm not using it. And you guys will see here in the next video coming out this Friday why I'm not going to use the original 318 and why I'm going with a nice 40 over 360 with these hyper-eutectic pistons. Nice and flat, zero deck. I like it. Anyway, put a 440 in it. I want to put small block because it's already there, and this thing I want to actually make. I don't want to make a straight line car. I want this thing to handle. So that's the whole purpose of this car. The small block will fit right in there, easy to work on, easy to access everything. And how much are interior kits for Challengers? I don't know. I'm scared to look. 426 max wedge. That's a hard engine to find. I know you can build one from a 413, and I mean it's a 413 based engine, but needs a TA spoiler. I'm on the fence. Here's where I'm on the fence on the TA spoiler. I considered it. I really like these cars without a wing. I like the way that the back end, how it's got an angle to it. I like the way that looks. If I were to put one on it, it would be a TA spoiler. But I have a luggage rack for the trunk, and I don't know what I want to do yet. I don't know if I want to put a luggage rack on it or a TA ducktail spoiler. I'm really on the fence, but I think it would be awesome putting a luggage rack on this thing, loading a bunch of like a luggage, your spare tires, any kind of toolboxes, and road tripping this thing with a bunch of stuff on the trunk lid. I don't know yet. We'll see. What's the name of his site, Brian McTaggart? It's a Bang Shift. If you just type in bangshift.com, search his name. It's a Bryan, and I don't want to butcher it. How do you spell it? Is it? I've been put on the spot. I don't want to like misspell his name, but just look. Yeah, there it is. BryanMcTaggart. I didn't want to offend him, but yeah, look up Brian McTaggart on Bang Shift. He's always writing some pretty cool articles. You gonna paint it? Oh boy. Are you gonna restore the Charger to stock? No. Are you keeping the 3-speed? For now, yes. I will keep the 3-speed in the car until I can source a 4-speed or some kind of overdrive. Where do you find this stuff? Doesn't exist here in New York. This was actually like 3 or 4 miles down the road, but we knew about it for years. I love all your videos, man. They're great advice. Thank you. Derek did go live yesterday, but it was filmed with a potato and he was losing the shop. Challenger on Power Tour 2020, maybe. I'm not going to push myself to make it. If the car is ready by Power Tour 2020, then sure. But I'm not going to make a deadline like I did with the Charger. This thing is just going to do what it does, and if it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, I'll take the Charger. Bumper guards, yes, I'm going to take those off. I'm going to get 70 bumpers and brackets and get rid of this filler here. Push those in and get some nice bumpers for the front and rear. I think that would really look good. Then I want to paint the grille black. I want to black that out. I think it would look better. Luggage rack would be unique. Do the rack, it's classy. That's what I'm thinking. Are you going to road trip? Yes, absolutely. I love building these cars to drive. That is the whole purpose of what I do these things for. I don't intend to let them sit, even though that does happen from time to time, just because it's hard to get to all of them at once. But I intend fully to drive the wheels off this thing. You going with factory wheels and hubcaps? You're looking for something a bit more hot roddy. I wish I had part of them in here. I should have, but one of them has a flat tire. I've got a set of 17-inch, a 17 by 8 and 17 by 9 Anson Sprints. They look like a slot mag, but they're in a 17. And I'm really considering doing that with this car. I want to lower it in the front and rear, make it sit pretty low, and have those big 17s on it, but they'll look like an old style slot mag. You know what I mean? But they're still, you can get an upgraded size tire on it. Because like I said, the whole purpose of this car is to make it handle. And it's just a lot easier with the modern wheel size. And 17 isn't ridiculously big. It's not like a giant 24-inch wheel like you see. I mean, and that's all personal preference, whatever. But 17s look pretty good. I mean, they look pretty good on these old cars, and I'm thinking about what I might do. And I might even go with a 17 by 9 in the front if I can make it fit, because I'd like to have them all square. But we'll see. You ever found a Superbird? I have not. But here's where it gets as close as it gets. Hello from New Zealand. Nobby's Garage, thank you for coming. That's an awesome, that's quite a long ways away. Mopar boat build, if I found one, I'd love to do one. That'd be fun. We make a video when you pressure wash it, as odd as it sounds. Really enjoy those videos. You and Vice Grip Garage are the kings of pressure washing. Oh man, I go way back with the pressure washing. Way back. I think the first time we did that was the very first Charger, the '69 Charger. that had been sitting for 20 years. We took it to that car wash. That was what, 2016, man. That was over 3 years ago now. That was ridiculous. I did watch Derek's video where he pressure washed the Ford truck. That was pretty cool. If he paints, it's going to look too nice to take out with all the people driving with the bus. Yeah. Why do people not like the 72 to 74 model years? I don't know. I mean, I prefer the 70 grill the most. That is my favorite. But, I mean, it's not every day you get to actually own a Challenger. So I will gladly take whatever I can get. And I'm proud of this car. I'm excited to have it. And at the end of the day, a Challenger is a Challenger. You know, we can still have fun with it. How many projects do you juggle at a time? Too many. I'm actually starting to. I've had to tell myself to focus on one at a time. I've been wanting to bounce around, but I'm not going to really dive deep into another project until this thing at least runs. I'm going to keep making videos on it. And now I do want to make, I want to make some here and there of other videos. Maybe do some revivals. Maybe do a couple, techie things, just like with the budget restoration video. I did a little work on it the other day, but I haven't made a video completely yet for it. I've got one in the works. But no, I want to focus on this thing for the channel, and I needed to get my priorities in check and figure out where to go and what to do. But as far as major, not major budget, but like major builds right now, the Challenger is the only one I'm working on. And it's really what I've been focusing on my time on, because you guys enjoy it and I enjoy it. And my dream car has always been a Challenger, though it's 70, but I'll still gladly take this one over anything. And right now I'm just, besides like tiny little projects here and there, like fixing things, this is the car I'm working on. This is it. This is Dad's car. This is not mine. But let's look around real quick while we got it here. Let's take a little gander around at it. So like we talked about it just a second ago. It is factory green with green interior, just based on what we looked at on the inside. Somebody's recovered the seats and painted some of the dash panels and all that stuff. It had green headliner, so I'm sure that it was just like my Charger. What they did, you could tell, I mean, they obviously wanted to make a Richard Petty vehicle out of this thing, and that's pretty much what Dad wants to do with it as well. And they put the big Plymouth decals on it, painted it that Petty blue, and it's just a sports satellite, but that isn't, I mean, it's still the same structure as a Roadrunner, and it's got the 318, and I'm sure it had a 2-barrel from the factory, and then they took the air off, put a 4-barrel intake on it, and we put the carburetor on it, and Dad actually drove the car home from the yard it was sitting in, and it fired right up the first try, and he put a couple quarts of transmission fluid and drove it home. Now it does need some work. There are a few things that it's got some issues with. The front suspension is, well, there. It's under the car, but that's about it. The front wheels are not on speaking terms with each other. The tie rod sleeves were loose. The bolts, the adjuster bolts, the ones that clamp the sleeves together, they're actually like loose, so I'm sure it's knocked itself out of alignment. No telling what the control arm bushings are like. So we'll have to figure out what's going on. I see a little comment about the Aspen. Yes, I did give it away. I gave it to a good friend of mine, Jamie. He actually has pulled the engine out of it already. He's going to put I can't remember what he said he was going to put back in it, but he's going to put a 4-speed in it, and that's all I know for right now. Kevin just said, "This is my satellite. Thanks for picking it up, Dylan." What he doesn't realize is that he picked up my satellite. See, me and Dad are going to have matching satellites. He's going to have this one, and then Kevin's going to sell me his black one. How do you find a decent Charger that doesn't cost an arm and a leg? You don't. That's the problem about it. You really gotta look. Oh, can you see some green? Hey, look at there. There's some green right there. You see that? See if I can focus on that. Look at that. They just scuffed the original paint, painted right over it in this blue. There's some original green right there. I don't know what looks like a Hemi. No, this is a 318. The mighty 318. They are great little workhorse engines, and they can make some power for sure. They definitely can. So somebody says your 318 can't make power, don't let them tell you that. I think we could start it up. We actually drove it in here. Is that the satellite from the first start you all did? Yes. This was actually, so Thunderhead 289, Junkyard Diggs, and I went out to this yard, and we made the first video on Kevin's channel, the Junkyard Diggs. Sorry, I'm trying not to get their names mixed up. Junkyard Diggs, we made it on his channel, and then driving out of the spot we made on my channel. So let me put our battery cable back on, and we need some fuel here. Belt's a little loose, but I know the headlights work, but I don't know if the taillights come on. Let's see. No brake lights either, but we do have headlights. I don't remember if the turn signals worked or not. That's a big no. Aisle's pretty smooth though, you know. I never put any spark plugs in it. That would really help its case. But I mean, it's got a little miss here and there, but it does need a set of spark plugs, plug wires. Maybe check the points and condenser on it, or Dad might even convert it to electronic ignition. I don't know what his plan is for right now, but it honestly runs really great the way it is. He put the carburetor on it. That's one that he had that he's rebuilt a few times, and it runs pretty good, honestly. I mean, you guys saw it in our last videos that we did on it, and it ran really well. We'll go back to the exhaust one more time and let you guys listen to it. Belt squeals great. Can't even hear the can't hear the exhaust. Yeah, no dome lights, so the look at it. I'm not doing that. It's the valve, like there's like the return thing on the steering box is out of adjustment. If I turn it all this way, stop, and go. Alright, cut it off. But like I said, drove it home just like it was. And it does need some work, and it does kind of wander around the road, but drove home. It wasn't a long drive. It was probably like 2 or 3 miles. But I'll make a video detailing, you know, all like us bringing it home, everything that we had to go through to get it back running, and I'll do like a walk around video of it again, just so you guys can, you know, at least be reminded about what we had to go through, and just an update video, maybe future plans, and we'll see what Dad wants to do about it. So, but it runs. Sound like it sounds good? Yeah. The rust underneath. Well, as far as I haven't looked under the car yet, but I can tell you that just based on, our floor pans here, I think it's going to be really nice. I'm assuming that's pretty rare to find a Mopar like this with floor pans that solid. And it helped that they took the carpet out a long time ago because it wasn't sitting with wet carpet. Because the windshields, these cars leaked from when they were brand new, and even my Charger with a brand new windshield and gasket still leaks. So, but what do you do? They did from the factory, or factory as Derek likes to say. What's the engine in it? It's a 318. She wants to go left. Yes, absolutely. Did either of you or Junkyard Digs get that 65 Fairlane out of that heap yard a while back? No. It's still sitting there. I actually saw it Saturday. It is still sitting in the same spot that you saw it in that video. Unfortunately. It is a cool car, but I think that it had some bad rust, if I remember correctly. What's the fastest you've gone in any of your cars? I drive the speed limit, man. We obey the laws. How many cars does Dad have? I have no idea. I'd have to go count. And I don't want to try and come off like we're bragging about the number of cars, because they're like mostly junk. Like I bought a Ram Charger the other day for $100. Okay, just because I have multiple doesn't mean that they're nice. Okay, you know, typically they're like $400 or $500, and I bought that Ram Charger just for parts. You know, that was the whole purpose of even getting it. So don't think that me saying I have a lot of vehicles is me saying that I'm bragging. I'm not trying to come off like that, but there is a lot. I have to go count. Finding a car without rust is like unicorns. Yeah, I mean, this car does have some rust issues, but nothing that's really ridiculous. I mean, it's a very solid car for what it is. It's got the typical rust in the quarters back here. That's a given. I mean, you just expect that, which honestly, my Challenger isn't bad, but that's what you get. Why aren't you working on the car? Because I'm talking to you. That's why. Had a 75 Plymouth Duster with a straight 6 and ran like a top. Oh yeah, you can't beat a little Dart or a Duster with a slant 6 in it. I mean, that's what my Duster is. And I actually, let me pull this down. I actually took that Duster and pulled a trailer full of parts all the way to Columbus, Ohio. So it was about 8 or 9 hour drive for me to pull an empty trailer up there, and then we came back with a trailer full of parts from the Mopar Nationals. So here in Canada, this car would have so much rust you couldn't find the car. Yeah, I hate that you guys have to deal with stuff like that up north, but you know, I'm fortunate to live where I live in this area. Did you check out Kowalski Project Challenger from Nick's Garage? Yes, I have actually watched that, or watched a few of those videos. I haven't watched them all, but yeah, he's doing the dream pretty much. Somebody bringing up the luggage rack question. So this car, I want to kind of theme it as like the old Trans Am style race cars from back in the day when they did that with 70 and 71. This body style never got that treatment, but I think it would be cool to do something like that like letter up the doors and on the side and the quarters. And somebody talked about doing the TA spoiler on the back, the ducktail, and I love that idea. If I were to put a spoiler on this car ever, that would be what I did. Or this up a second ago, I thought it would be fun to put a luggage rack as well. I've got a luggage rack that I bought from the Mopar Nationals for an e-body, and I thought it would be fun to put a luggage rack on this car or the ducktail. I don't think it would look good to have both, but I think it would be pretty neat to have a luggage rack loaded up with spare tires, parts, or like a luggage, anything like that. Road trip the thing across the country just like that. I think it would be pretty fun. So I don't know what I'll do yet. Maybe next time we do a live video, we'll talk about the luggage rack, and I'll actually bring it out. I wish I'd got it for you guys so you could look at it. Here's a good question. You ever owned a non-American car? Yes, I absolutely have. I used to own a 1984 Volvo. It was a 240 DL, I think that's what it's called. And is that a thing? But it was a 4-door Volvo. It was an automatic inline 4-cylinder. I bought it for $700. I made a video on it, but I deleted it because I thought it was stupid. It had a freeze plug that was blown out of it, and the exhaust manifold gasket leaked, I believe. And I bought freeze plugs. Finding freeze plugs for one of those things is ridiculous because I had to do like a couple days worth of searching, because now on these, these type will press in. You can take like a hammer or something, like a socket, and press these in and tap it in. On that one, I can't remember what type it's called. Is it like convex or concave, something like that? Anyway, it's just like a flat disc with like or that's not flat, but it's like a disc that's curved to one side, and then you punch it in the middle and it expands. I put one of those in it, and gosh, that was a lot of work to pull the exhaust manifold off, put that on, and then put everything back together. And it was funny because it would one of the injectors would get like finicky. It would kind of drop out and come back in, and every time it would come back in, it would backfire really loud. And I thought it was funny, and I looked back and I see a big cloud of smoke behind me, like black smoke, because it would actually pick up the fuel. But I fixed that was taking a socket, and I just tapped on the injector and ran fine. I sold it for $1,000, I think. So it put a lot of work into it for very little money. And they drove it home, but it was a fun little car for what it was. But yeah, that's probably the only foreign car that I've ever messed with. Volvo 240 DLs are hard to kill. Yes, it was very hard to kill. I was pretty hard on that car, but man, was it nice. It was so clean. It had great interior. Everything worked on it. But I just didn't. I bought it to resell, and I fixed a few things on it, and I thought it was funny. You ever talk to Flying Sparks? Yeah, I did. I talked to them on Power Tour a little bit. They were very busy, but we did have a few conversations here and there. But yeah, they're pretty cool people. Never turbo a Volvo. Yeah, it wasn't a factory turbo, but that would be nice if it was, because it was pretty slow. German parts are crazy to find most of the time. It's too bad. Yeah, and I wish I could have kept it. It's a good thing I got rid of it. I did. Yes, I do daily drive an 04 Mustang. Favorite 4-door car? Ooh, man, that's tough. I love big Chryslers. Big Chryslers. Ever talk to Scott Speed Shop? Yeah, all the time. Yeah, he actually was helping me find an overdrive transmission for my Challenger. He had sent me a message saying he knew somebody that was kind of close to me about an aluminum case overdrive transmission. So might go with that. I'm trying to source a cast iron with closer ratios. I'd like to have an overdrive that has better gearing than like because on the aluminum case overdrive 833s, they had a super low like 309 first gear, and then that second gear switch is like, I think it's like 1.71. So a 309 to a 171 ratio, that's a huge jump. So that second gear is going to really bog if you're not in the RPM. You'll fall out of your rev range and when your cam is actually in its operating range. But I'm trying to find something with a little bit better spacing, but we'll see. I do like the fact it's overdrive. That's what I really want. How am I? I know it's a simple question, but sometimes it means a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing well. Just really trying to hammer out a lot of this stuff with this Challenger, and I've started to post every other week instead of every Friday because it's easier on me. Because there's only so much I can do throughout the week to make you guys a video, and if I could, I would love to make a video. I would make a video every day if I could, but with stuff like this, things go wrong. Sometimes you have to work backwards to continue forwards. The suspension went relatively easy. I had a couple hiccups, nothing crazy, but there's always things to get everything you need. It's like, well, dang, now I'm behind. Now it's past Friday and I can't post a video, so I have to wait till next week. So instead of doing all that, I just decided to go every other week, and it really, really helped me a lot. But thank you for asking. I appreciate that. 1959 Chrysler 4-door hardtop. That is a beautiful car. Beautiful. You ever worked on a Rambler? A long time ago, a buddy of mine his grandfather had a 65, or it was a 4 or 5. It was a wagon. I think it was a 660 with an inline 6 automatic. It was white on the outside and a dark emerald green on the inside, and it was immaculate. I absolutely loved that car, and I wish I could actually get my hands on that thing. It's still out there, and we got it running one day and drove it around the field. But man, it's literally spotless. The car is beautiful. But would you ever take on an early Hemi car from the 50s, like a DeSoto or a Chrysler New Yorker /300? I was actually looking for a DeSoto. I was really looking for like a 57 to 58 DeSoto. I found a couple local here, but it's not really something that I need right now. But yes, I would love a DeSoto. Ever owned a Chevy? Yeah. What was it? Had a 60. Well, I was part owners with a 62 C10, part owners with a 51 Chevy sedan, part owners with a 62 Impala. I'm part owners currently with a 62 or 3 Chevy truck, short bed. It's just a parts truck. I did own a really nice 64 Bel Air 4-door inline 6.3 on the tree that I traded a 55 Buick for, and I really wish I could have kept that car. It was immaculate on the inside, and it was really nice on the outside. It was all original, and I wish I could have kept it, but I couldn't because I wanted to fund putting my police car together, so I did end up selling it. Love your videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate that. You ever considered building a drag car? Yeah, and nothing like that. I'm kind of leaning towards doing that with the Cordoba because I'm never going to do anything with it. And I know that I've been talking about doing the sleeper build for a long time, but this Challenger right now is more attainable and interesting to me. So I'm going to work on it. And maybe the Cordoba will come back one day. I actually was about to put an 8 3/4 in it here recently, but it just never came to being able to do it because I wanted to work on this car. But like I said earlier, I'm going to start focusing on single projects instead of bouncing around because it's just easier on me. But yes, I do want to eventually build some kind of drag car. Need a pet dog? I do have Repo, but he's outside. Really like the videos you produce. I'm somewhat envious of your skill set. Keep up the great work. Hey, anybody can do what I'm doing, man. I appreciate your comment. That anybody can do it. I'm not doing anything that is out of ridiculously out of touch and unattainable, and that's what I really want to push. Anybody can do what I'm doing. I know there's a lot of things that I'm doing, like it's crazy, but you can do all of this stuff in your driveway. Man, I dropped this whole cross member in the yard over there, put it up on jack stands, and dropped it out. I mean, anybody can do that. So, yeah, I just want to push that. That's really my message with all this stuff is that I'm just a normal guy, just like anybody else. Worst injury working on a car. I get it. It wasn't my worst, but it was kind of funny. So, I used to have an '85 Chrysler Fifth Avenue, and right here on the back side, like around the back window, there's like fiberglass trim that's interior color, and it wraps around it. When I did, I think we had stole the speakers out of it. Not stolen, but I mean it was Dad's car, but he took them out for something else. I might have been trying to put them in my dark sport, but he paid like $100 for it, maybe 200, I don't remember, and then gave it to me for my birthday because that's what I wanted. I wanted that Fifth Avenue, and it didn't run at the time, but it was that lean burn ignition. And anyway, that's unimportant to the story. But I was putting everything back together because we had taken the seats out to get the back speakers out, and I was putting all that trim back together, and I had locked it in up top, and I was starting to push on the bottom, and then the top gave way, hit me between the eyes, right between right between my nose, or like above my nose, like right between my eyes on my nose is what I'm trying to say. And it just about knocked me out, felt like, and I started bleeding instantly, and thought it was funny, and it left a scar there for a while. But my worst injury, I mean, I've mashed my hand a few times. I did drop a shackle, like a spring shackle mount from an 8 3/4 onto my toe one time, and it turned purple. That wasn't fun. This pinky, I think I broke it. You can kind of see how it's lopsided on one side. It's not supposed to be like that. I was trying to hold the flywheel or the flex plate on my 440 on my Charger still while Dad was doing something, and the wrench slipped, and I punched on accident. I punched the sharp edge on the engine stand, and it instantly started bleeding. I could see the bone on my pinky. That one hurt the most, I think. And then this right here, I got a scar on my hand from a razor blade because I was cutting the frayed ends off of a seat belt, and it went through and cut my finger open. That one hurt, but nothing crazy. I haven't broken anything. I might have broke my pinky one time. I don't know. I didn't go to the doctor for it. Probably should have, but it's whatever. Motivating to watch yours and the rest of the group's projects got me going on my own project. That's awesome. I'm glad. That's really what I want. I want you guys to be inspired and get out there and work on your own stuff. So I appreciate that comment. You guys that like old four-wheel cars need to check out Scott's channel, Cold War Motors. I have watched his channel before. Yeah, I have seen his. I think he did a 57 or 58 Plymouth one time. Fully support a Cordova drag car. Make his 10-second passes in no time. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you. Drove my T-Bird around last night. Couldn't see 15 feet in front of me. Should probably adjust the headlights. Yeah, that'll help. $69 Charger that you have inspired me to get running and driving. Austin has one. Nice, dude. That is awesome. I'm glad. Dan Taraska, $2. Keep up the good work. Love your videos. You were awesome. Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate that. Driving these as your daily without a backup is a good way to lose your job. Yeah, that is true. That's very true. That's why I have these fun cars on the side and daily something that's actually reliable. Just turned my best time in my 71 Chrysler 300. 1065, still has AC. You are crazy, and I love it. Was in the middle of putting together, Kevin said his satellite runs really good in the next episode, actually. Yeah, if you guys haven't watched that series, go check it out. They're going back and forth between Junkyard Digs and Thunderhead 289, reviving a 70 satellite. If you haven't already, go check that out. And Mike from Classic Mustangs 429, he's actually wrapped up finally the 65 Mustang Fastback. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. Junkyard Digs and Dylan McCool are my two favorite car channels on YouTube. Zach, you were the man. Over the winter, I'll be pulling and fixing up my classic 1990 Mini 998cc engine. I didn't know they made them up into that year. Huh, that's pretty cool. My friend and I were putting a motor in the back of my truck to take it back to his grandpa to put it in. The motor stamp broke, and the air cleaner caught my wrist and sliced it open. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. That sounds painful. Drove my uncle's 73 Challenger, 193 miles, and I swear he had the wrong spring on the gas pedal. Leg was cramping up. Funny how road trips have funny memories. Yeah, that lack of cruise control has messed me up on some of these. Because my Mustang, it has cruise control. Then I road trip something like this. Like, man, I wish I had that right now. Where do you find them? This one was in the backyard of somebody's house. Somebody sent it to me on Instagram and told me to go check it out, so I did. And that car, we knew about it for pretty much the whole time it was sitting there because Dad was friends with the guy who owned it. Oh, here's a good one. Ever had a project that kept you from falling asleep and you went back to the garage and sat and pondered? The Charger, 100% kept me awake at night. No joke. That car, it nearly ruined my sanity in some places. I love the car, but man, getting that thing ready for Power Tour was a hassle, to say the least. I just about did not survive that, but it was worth it in the end. When you're getting back on the Plymouth Trail Duster, I kind of want that to be the next big project unless I find something else. That I think I can do in maybe a couple months' time. I want to do. Have I talked about this yet? I don't know if I've talked about it. So I've got a Cummins, a 3/4 ton Dodge Cummins, like a 91, that it's the first half of 91, so it's not intercooled, but I might add one. Who knows? Anyway, I bought the truck to take the axles, engine and transmission, all the drivetrain, everything, springs and all, put it under that trail duster and make a diesel trail duster. So that might be the next project after the Challenger's kind of wrapped up and pretty much able to drive, and then we can do a few things on it because, like I said, the interior's got to be done. But I'm not going to really focus on anything else until this Challenger runs. That's my goal, unless we can do a couple things here and there. But yeah, that might I think that might be my next big project. Because I've been waiting on that. I want something I can off-road with and have some fun with. And pull a trailer at the same time. What is your favorite YouTube channel? Your own doesn't count. Oof. Who do I... I've got to where I like movie critiques and documentaries and stuff like that. I can't think of the channel name, but I like to watch people's critiques over... I've gotten into really here recently Star Wars film critiques, and there's a few channels out there that I've watched. And I don't know why, but I've always been a fan of the franchise. But the Last Jedi was awful in my opinion. I didn't like it at all, and I like to watch videos that support my opinion, so as we all do. So I've gotten into a lot of different critique channels and stuff like that. I've always been a fan of that. Car-wise, you need to go check out Thunderhead 289, Junkyard Digs, Classic Mustangs 429, Vice Grip Garage, DeBoss Garage, and anybody else I'm forgetting. But you need to go check those guys out because they are awesome. 62 Bird in the family garage since 1970 is about to get new life. Maybe I will see you guys at the show soon. I'm starting with the gas tank, brakes, and suspension. Awesome. Yes. Yeah. Just prioritize, make it right, and have fun with it. Don't get mad at it, because if you get mad, you're what's the point? And I had to teach myself that one. The de-enrichment modulator. What were we talking? I don't remember what we were talking about there. I'm way behind on comments. Sorry, I'm trying to read every one of them, but there's so many that I can't, and I hate that I can't. Love your channel, Dylan. Thanks for letting the younger folks know they need a backup or daily sucks, but it's a fact of life. It is. It really is. It stinks, but yeah. 78 Plymouth Trail Duster. I've been driving it all summer long. It's a good truck to be driving. I like the Trail Dusters. I like the grill because they don't, well, like the later ones don't say anything. I thought your dad was going to use the Cummins in a 70 Dodge truck. Yes, his 68 long bed. He's got a Cummins and I've got one too. We both have different trucks, but yes, you're correct. His is a 1-ton. Mine's a 3/4 ton. Cletus McFarland is a good Chevy performance channel for those who live under a rock and don't know about him yet. Yes, Cletus McFarland, his channel is pretty cool. This winter, oh, ACC Garage, what's up, man? I met you at the Mopar Nationals. This winter, I'll be tearing out the old worn-out Slant 6 in my 77 D100 and replacing it with an 87 318. My plan is to put a good cam, 97 Magnum heads, hoping to go faster than 65 miles per hour by April. That's a good plan. And you were correct by that 65. That's about top end for those little engines, but they're great. Where do your dads go when you take over the garage? Where your dad's cars go? I'll just back them out and put them in the yard. And I mean, long term, we'll trade around. This depends, but no, I like to keep at least, because the Charger kind of took over both sides, and I didn't like that. I felt bad because I felt like I was taking too much of the shop. So this car really, which is why I've talked about on my Instagram post that I can't really tear down a car and leave it tore down for a long period of time as far as paint is concerned. But this is why, because this shop is used nonstop. Not only on our projects like this stuff, but also on things that we drive daily. Like my Mustang, I just had to change out the air compressor, the AC compressor, because it locked up on me. Had to put a new belt on it and everything. So I can't have just something holding down one side of the shop at all times. You know, I got to be able to roll stuff in and out. And I love this shop. It's where I learned everything that I've ever come to learn, you know. And one day I'd like to build a shop, but you know, this is basically where I started everything, you know, learning with Dad, coming out here and doing stuff that, you know, just I remember standing right in this spot and watching. He was showing me how to do the disc brakes on my Dart, my first Dart Sport ever, the first car I ever owned. I was sitting right here watching him put on the disc brakes on the front and telling me how to do each step. And I'll never forget that. I didn't retain anything because I was pretty young, and it was like, wow, this is way over my head. I'll never get it. But now, I mean, today or yesterday, actually, I put the brakes on this car, or it was actually Saturday, and I finished it today. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I can remember going back to him showing me where that happened. So, this shop has a lot of history in it, you know, and that's what I like that's why I like to work in here, and it's always been home, basically. You know, it's where I do everything that I've ever worked on before. So anyway, one day I will build a shop, a really big shop, to have a lot of stuff where I can tear down stuff for a long period of time. But it goes back to show you that you can do any kind of work, and even if you just had a single car garage, you could do all this work right here that I'm doing in a single car garage. You know, if you got just a little space somewhere to work inside, it goes a long way. But yeah, the shop, it's a good shop. It really is. You have lots of room. Get busy building that shop. I think the shop looks way bigger on camera than it does in real life. And I'm not complaining. I'm not at all. It does get cramped in here sometimes because of me. You know, it's basically me, because what I'll do is I'll load the dang thing up with parts, and like before I had all this right here full of these boxes right here, parts thrown out everywhere, and I'll back the car out because I don't want to get stuff on it and get any kind of dirt or nothing on his nice cars. And I'll back it out and have this stuff over here on this side covered up. So it can get messy real quick if you're not careful. So this is a good shop, though. It really is. I'm fortunate to have what I have to be able to use it. You know, if you need help building that shop, I'll help at RTA. I appreciate that. One day, man. One day I'll have we'll get us a really big shop, put everything inside. Loving the finds. The satellite has got my undivided attention. From Big Tom, $5. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, the satellite has been a big hit here this weekend. We're excited to have it, and I'm really excited to actually see the car here once and for all. You know, it's been a long time, and I'm glad it's here. Somebody said, what is it? add onto the back of the shop. Well, there's a carport back there. Can't really do that. Somebody asked me, or somebody said, that's why I have a soft spot for darts. Yeah. Dart Sport was my first car, and I'm not saying I learned. I mean, I was not capable to do it all on my own. Dad did most of the work to that car, but I helped where I could along the way because I learned a lot. Like I can remember, like I was just telling you guys about watching him do the brakes, watching him put the new calipers and rotors on, and I can remember standing on the other side of this door right here. The car had the 318 that we put in it, and I painted it, and I was proud of it. I was like, oh man, I just restored this car. I rattle canned the 318, I sprayed the transmission silver. But I can remember standing on the other side of that door, and he let me put the water pump and the fuel pump on. And that was really the first time I remember doing something like that. You know what I mean? Like doing some kind of like mechanical work. Because I was really young, and I got the car when I was 10. I borrowed the money from my grandmother, borrowed $600 from her, and I paid it back over like years doing yard work for anything like that. And I paid her back like $20 at a time. Every time I do yard work for her, she'd write it down, say, "Oh yeah, you have a little less that you owe me now." And finally, we called it even. But yeah, I can remember. I remember a lot of stuff with that car and having a lot of fun with it. But I remember that was the first thing I really did to that engine that I can remember is putting the water pump and the fuel pump on after it was sitting in the car. I remember it was sitting right outside there. We did it at night and had a little flashlight rolling. That was it. How many barn finds are there left in North America? I don't know. Hopefully a lot, because I need to keep this channel going. Why would you want a Mustang when there's so many better GM cars you could be driving? That's crazy. See, attitudes like that will get you nowhere, and I don't appreciate when people are just like one brand only. You can't respect other brands. There's no reason to be like that, honestly. Anybody likes what they like, and that Mustang has treated me well. I got it when I was 16, and I'm 23 now. So, I mean, I've had the car for a long time, and I've had it, and it's going well. The car still runs and drives perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it, so I don't see the issue there. My grandfathers both drove Ford trucks. We got both of them. Actually drove one of them yesterday. Or actually Saturday. My bad. And there's nothing wrong with it. So what? I like a Ford Mustang. Big deal. I like Chevys too. How's Daisy the Dart? Daisy is doing okay. Well, I've got a 2-barrel intake that I need to put on it. I'm just waiting on the time to do it because it's, like I said, we're working around this challenge right now, so I don't want to do a lot that I can't fix a car in at least a weekend. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too far off into it without being able to work on this Challenger. But I've got a 2-barrel carburetor and I've got a 2-barrel intake. I just need to work on linkage. That's the issue that I'm having right now. I need to figure out what I want to do for linkage. Might end up having to do some kind of low car kickdown. The throttle cable I think I can figure out, but I don't know what to do about the kickdown. How does it feel to own an E-body? The Challenger has been my dream car ever since watching Vanishing Point as a kid. And Dad's owned Challengers. His first was a 73 or 2 or 3. It was a 72 or 3, and he's had Challengers all my life. He's got his 70 RT in the back, but yeah, it feels pretty awesome. I've always wanted one, and having one is just, it's incredible. You can restore the Charger to stock. No. What's your dad think about all this YouTube stuff? Oh yeah, he's all. He honestly he tells more people about my YouTube channel than I do, honestly. He really does. And same thing with my mom. They fully support everything YouTube. It's awesome. So every shirt that you guys order that says the Dylan McCool, YouTube shirt, my mom handmade those shirts. So gotta give a big shout out to her for making those. So every time you get a shirt or you order one or a sticker, she makes them. So she's awesome. And same thing with Dad. they fully support everything YouTube. They'll help me with any way they can. They've always been like that. So it makes it a lot easier, for sure. Channels like yours, Junkyard Digs is Underhead 289. Guys like you make me want to restore an old vehicle once I have the money and space to do so. Absolutely, keep it up, man. That's the thing about it. You just gotta just keep on trying. Don't give up on an idea just because you don't think it's attainable. It definitely is. I can guarantee it. I want a 73 Ford LTD. Haven't seen one in years though. Well, you're in luck. I actually have a 73 or 4 Galaxy 500 two-door sitting out in the back that I think it's a 351, I believe, or it's one of the 400 modified engines. It's sitting out back. It survived a tornado, and I'm going to do a video on it one day. But I know it runs. I've heard it run, but it's been sitting for a couple years now again. So it's actually given to me by a family member, so I'm hoping to do some videos on it in the future. Big block Chevy guy, but I love me some Mopar. I'm Ed with Ford, but only because Mopar and Chevy are so cool. Hey, that's all right. Dylan, whatever brand you put in the shop, rest assured I will be viewing. They're both looking great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Vanishing Point, awesome movie. I'm not going to read the rest of that. Dylan, what is one discontinued vehicle from any car maker that's no longer around that you wish the Chrysler Corporation would start making again? Mine is the AMC Gremlin. Ooh. Well, Plymouth was discontinued. AMC, anything AMC was cool to me, in my opinion. I think they're awesome. Man, that's a tough question. I'm a big fan of Plymouth. So, I don't know. Discontinued vehicle from any car maker. Probably had to be the Plymouth line. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Plymouth. Love the Challenger. Thank you. How's the Orange Dodge pickup doing? I actually took it to a show, and LMC Truck actually sponsors the truck now. At least they supplied me a few parts, and I swapped an intake because it started to leak on me at a car show. So I swapped an intake gasket. I made a video. Like I said, I'm still working on this Challenger, but I will eventually post that video of the truck. But they gave me a new front bumper. They got a new rear bumper and a few other things. A lot of parts. They gave me tailgates, wood flooring, gas tank, filling neck, all that. A lot of good stuff to make the truck really reliable. I just haven't had the time to really make a video on it because this Challenger's going strong. But LMC Truck did sponsor me, and I put the front bumper on at the show. So I'm hoping that I'll get that video out here in the near future. But yeah, the Orange Truck's doing great. Still runs and drives. Are you going to do any type of restoration at all in the Challenger? Restoration is kind of a loose term. Yes, I'm doing a restoration as far as suspension goes, the engine goes, the drivetrain assembly. Yes, in that extent, I will be doing a restoration. And the interior, it'll be a restoration, but paint, no, I don't intend to, because I detailed everything. If you go to my community tab on my channel or my Instagram page, you can see I listed 4 reasons why I can't paint these cars, why I don't intend to, and I kind of went into it a little bit earlier. But if you go to my community tab on my channel, you can see why. Is that Plymouth original, like original paint, numbers matching? The paint is not. No, it's supposed to be pretty much like my Charger, but in Plymouth form. It's the green on green, but it's a small block. I would guess it's original 318, and I'm certain it was a 2-barrel because somebody's putting an aluminum intake for a 4-barrel on it, and it had air, but it's been taken off. But other than that, yes, it is. It's just been repainted, and the interior has been messed with. It's Dad's car. It's not mine. First car was a Galaxy 500. It was stolen before I turned 16, so I could drive it. I hate to hear that. Where's the petty truck? Actually, the petty truck has been torn down. The engine is all on that table right there. That's all petty truck in a box. Dad had to get some cam bearings put in it, but we're waiting on the engine to come back. keep bringing back these forgotten cars. Absolutely. And that's, these cars deserve to be on the road, and that's what I intend to do. All right, hey, Austin, what's up, man? What are you bringing to the Mopar versus Brand X Streetcar Showdown? That's a hashtag and a half this weekend. Well, as you know, we talked about it. Hoping to bring the Dart if everything goes according to plan. Just really hoping that everything does go according to plan. Haven't even touched the car yet, so we'll see. We're hoping to make it out. That patina looks awesome on that Challenger. Yeah, and they repainted the car. I don't know what. I mean, it looks like the same color. Honestly, I don't know what the deal was, but it has been repainted. So it's a little mixed match, but I think it looks cool. And we will pressure wash it. I do want to clean it up. Ever work on an Australian muscle car? If they were obtainable, yeah. Those are a little bit harder to find over here in the States, but yes, I would absolutely love to. I would love to find like an old Valiant with a right-hand drive with the inline 6 Hemi. Those things would be pretty cool to have. Where do you store the Charger? It's put up. It's out of the rain. Plymouth looks like the General Lee Charger. It is similar in body style, and it's the same platform on a Plymouth platform, but the body lines, yes, are different. But a lot of stuff does interchange between the Chargers and the satellites. Hate I missed you at Pigeon Forge this fall. Yeah, we took the Dart out there. That was a good trip. I had a lot of fun taking that one out there. Saw you guys' video of Power Tour with you guys hanging out. Cool. It was a lot of fun. Power Tour 2019 was a blast. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Whatever happened to the trucks? I'm not sure what trucks you're meaning, but they're doing well. I mean, all the trucks here are good. We ever restore a Ford? So back about a year and a half ago, Dad and I took my grandfather's old truck and put a new. Well, he did most of it actually. I think I was at school a lot of the time that he was doing all this work, but he put a new engine and transmission in. I helped him do a little bit of the work, but he got a tree had fallen on like a short bed 86 XLT. It's an 86 F-150 that my grandfather owned. It was a long bed, dual tanks, XLT, blue and tan, 351 HO with a C6, but Dad had put a 302 in it with an AOD back when years, I think he said 93 is when he did it. I honestly don't remember the year. But the transmission went out, so he fell upon this deal because a tree literally fell on a short bed XLT truck. I think it had 68,000 miles on it from my aunt and uncle. He bought it and took the drivetrain out from that truck and put it in my grandfather's truck. And it's a good truck. It really is a nice truck. So it's basically 68,000 miles. Would you consider a spray can paint job episode? So way back when I did the Chrysler police car, I did a rattle can paint job with it with Rust-Oleum paint. And I think I paid $100 to do the whole thing. I wouldn't mind doing something like that. I just need to find something that is worthy to do that with, because that car was pretty much straight besides the dent in the door. And I had an idea in mind for doing the police car. So one day I might. Just depends. Do a walk around of that piece of beauty sitting in front of you. Well, I'm gonna let my phone charge, or I would. We will right before I leave. You still have the blue D100? Yes, I actually drove it a little bit today. All right, guys, it is to go for, but great comment explaining why the Charger isn't painted. Your car inspires so many of us as is. I guarantee it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go. I appreciate you guys coming out. It was awesome. I really enjoyed you guys coming out and saying what you said and asking your questions. It means a lot that you guys support the channel. Hope you guys stick around to see what's going on with the satellite in the near future, as well as continuing to go on with the Challenger. Next video on this car will be this Friday, if everything goes according to plan. I've pretty much filmed everything for it. It's going to be reinstalling our front suspension, and then I tore down the original engine. So we'll get that video posted for you guys, and then we'll continue moving forward with the project. I'm really excited for it. It was a lot of fun to get this thing going, and one day soon this thing will actually run and drive under its own power with that 360 sitting right there. So anyways, guys, thanks so much. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. Order your t-shirts and your stickers. We've got the new it's straight besides the dents t-shirt for this Challenger. It's on my website, my Big Cartel. The link is in the description below, so go check that out. Order your t-shirts, guys, because that I'm really excited about it. It's a pre-order right now. I think I'm going to run it until the end of October, and then once we get a number of orders, just depends if we have to meet a threshold. So if we don't by the end of October, then we'll extend it. But as of right now, tentatively end of October when the t-shirt pre-order is going to end. But anyways, that's it.